get like 1 million views on a YouTube video, you'd be on fucking Ellen the next day. 90% of the content we consume is not even from people we follow. We are spending so much time consuming trash. So I'm back. So you might have noticed I haven't posted a video in like almost 2 months. I really wanted to talk about everything I'm about to talk about, and I just was finding it hard to like articulate in words everything I was feeling. And then Damon Dominique, who's one of my like favorite all-time like YouTube OG creators, put a video out on this, and he just articulated it so well, and it's just such a good video. So a lot of the things that he covered I'll be covering too, but I also have things that I kind of feel like I want to add and just show my perspective from it. But I'm gonna link his video down below because it is really great, and I really feel like I just wanted to credit him. Let's start at the beginning. I started YouTube when I was 14, which means that was 2014. If you were watching YouTube videos at the time, you would know it was very different back then. I literally remember going to my friend's house, and the first time that she showed me like a YouTube video of like a YouTuber, and I forget his name now, but it was like an iconic YouTuber at the time, somewhere like along the Tyler Oakley kind of scene. And I remember that moment of just being like, I've never seen anything like this before. Someone just filming themselves, putting it online, and like just being weird and crazy. And it sounds so weird saying it now, but like at the time, like, you know, the only kind of sources of media we were seeing was like television and movies. And so to see someone like do it in their own creative way and leave in all the bloopers and mistakes just was like, I don't know, it just really excited me. And from that moment on, I just got into YouTube. I started watching all of the like OG UK YouTubers like Zoella, Marcus Butler, Casper Lee, all of those. And then I also found kind of like the more DIY It Girl kind of, wasn't called It Girl, but like that kind of scene of like My Life as Ava, Bethany Moda. I was just so inspired by these creators, and I just knew I wanted to do it myself. And so I did. If you know the YouTubers I mentioned before, you would know the type of YouTube videos were kind of more performative. Like, you know, YouTubers would come on and be like, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It was like very like scenes, and like also like the DIY, like room tour stuff. It was like really curated. And so obviously that was the kind of videos I was doing then. I think also it's important to note at the time, social media wasn't like it is today where everyone feels like they can make it their job. I feel like all the OG creators that like started then, none of them started it with the intention for it to be like a job. It was more so just like, I really love this. And I think that showed in a lot of the content that was being put out those days. Like people were like having these like ideas and exploring their creativity and like really like trialing things and like just like putting in a lot of hours in editing and time. It literally took 6 years of me posting videos till my channel actually started growing, which was only in 2020, and I started in 2014. So you guys know, like, I fucking loved and love doing this. Like, I was doing it with no views, with no money for 6 years. Like, I had completely at some point given up that it was going to go anywhere. This brings us to chapter 2, which I'm going to call The Box. Oh, okay, how do I say this? Okay, I feel like I started YouTube like a lot of people, just kind of like doing it for fun, not thinking too deeply of it. Like I was doing fashion videos, I was doing like DIY videos. I didn't feel like I had to be a certain like genre or box. But I think what happens is when you grow from a certain video, then that's obviously what people like and want from you. And so, for instance, for me, the videos that blew up my channel were the Asking Guys Questions Girls Are Too Afraid to Ask. It did really well. People really liked my chemistry with the guys, specifically me and Jarvis kind of just became a thing, who's like one of my really close friends. And then suddenly all the like comments I was getting, the messages I was getting were like, oh, you and Jarvis, film more videos with Jarvis. We want more Jarvis, which was great because me and Jarvis were like, fuck yeah, like we love filming videos together, like whatever. But it gets to a point, right, where you're like, this isn't necessarily what I like wanted to constantly be filming videos about. And I feel like I see a lot of content creators go through that, where like one video blows up and then they kind of just like, okay, I'm just gonna repeat that trend again and again and again until people get bored. And the truth is, that's how you grow. If I kept with it, if me and Jarvis kept doing videos and like kept pushing the same content of like talking about taboo things and stuff, I think I would have grown a lot more. We film videos when it's fun, when we want to, and I didn't want to start being like, hey Jarvis, I feel like we should film another video, because that's what people want to see. You can really, really see it on TikTok these days. It's like the winning strategy on how to grow and get views and followers is just like find a niche and then like rinse and repeat, like just again and again and again. Same with like, you find a song, it works. I found this like TikTok couple, like nothing against them at all, but like one video of them went viral to this one song, and then they literally repeat the song like fucking every day, and they're cute and it works with them, and I get why people like it. They're charismatic, it's fun to watch, it just is silly and cute, but there's just like no creativity. And I think that's my problem with so much of like people falling into a niche, falling into a box, and then feeling like they have to keep going with that. And sometimes it works. Like sometimes people blow up from like a travel video, and that's what they like to do, and that's what they like to make content about. So it's like, great, like I'm just going to go with that because that's what I love. But I think in many cases, especially with like TikTok and stuff, is like someone gets big from like, I don't know, doing a angry like, fuck this is what happened to me, blah 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 blah, and then they're like, oh shit, like now I need to just keep doing that, even though maybe that's not exactly how they feel anymore. It's crazy as well, because like in the past, if you would get like 1 million views on a YouTube video, you'd be on fucking Ellen the next day. Like 1 million views was crazy. And now it's like most people I know, even if they're not a creator, will have a video go viral at some point and hit 1 million. Like, it's not that big a deal anymore. So I feel like it's putting a lot of creators in this place where it's like, okay, yeah, like I had one video that did well, it hit 1 million or whatever, but like unless you keep going and like keep getting those views, it's just nothing. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just views. And so I feel like creators are just like having to like constantly create and create and create, which then kind of leads to the whole like quantity over quality. It makes me so angry. It makes me so sad. It doesn't make me angry, it makes me sad. Okay, chapter 3, the algorithm. Does the algorithm control us, or do we control the algorithm? I feel like the way that we are taught to believe by social media and stuff is that it's going to try to help you to see more of what you like, right? So if you are liking some sort of video or whatever, it's going to start pushing that to you. So really, like, social media is doing that because it's like, we want to make it a great experience for you. We want to give you the content that you want. So they use AI, obviously, to... Yeah, I don't need to explain the algorithm to you guys. You guys aren't dumb. The thing is, right, is our brain likes familiarity. It likes repetition. That's why choruses are a thing in songs, because if you have the chorus in the song, you can always come back to it. We like feeling like we've achieved something. We know the words. We understand it. This is familiar. This is not like scary. It's like, oh, I know the lyrics to this song. I know this trend. I know this. It makes you feel like you belong. Like, I know this. I understand this. But then it comes to things like TikTok and social media, and then we find ourselves like getting attached to these trends and these songs and repeating and repeating and repeating, because it's funnier and easier to already know and understand a trend, to feel familiar with it, to know the words, than to like be introduced to like a new style or genre, or like, you know, it's so much easier to be like, oh, I'm just going to stick with my comfort and what I know and what I keep seeing again and again, rather than to not. And so that's why trends work. It usually doesn't take as much effort because you're not having to like think of this idea. You kind of just do the trend, or you do your take, and it gets pushed along with the content, you know? So like for instance, the reason I grew on YouTube was because the video that made me grow was the video with the guys, which was a trend. So YouTube was like, oh, these people that are watching this video, they seem to like it. I'm just going to push more of this video. So then suddenly I was a part of this whole like algorithm that was pushing out my videos to more and more people. But the thing is then, what if you want to do something different? What if you want to try an original take on something? Talk about a topic you haven't heard someone talk about before. Try a style that no one's seen before. How do you get seen? Because you don't really like connect to anything that is already on the internet. So the internet doesn't exactly know where to put you. It's like, okay, well, like, what is your video? It's new. It doesn't fit with this song or this genre, so it just doesn't get pushed. And so I feel like what I'm seeing online is less and less creativity, because how shit is it when you put all this effort and time into something and then the video that you filmed in 10 seconds lip syncing to a trending audio gets so much more recognition and love and followers and ultimately brings you money if it's your job. I feel like Damon said this so good in his video, but it was like, how many times do we just go onto TikTok or Instagram or something and see a video being like, guys, making content isn't hard. Just find the last video in your camera roll, put it with this trending sound and add like a quote on the top. And what is crazy about that is like, I see those videos all the time and they have millions of views. They do well because it's a simple formula, right? Get an audio that's going to push your thing. Get a video that just like feels like it would go with a quote, and then people are just like, we're consuming so much. And I don't think those videos are bad, but I just don't think that they have a lot of substance. I think what icks me and upsets me about those videos is that like, it's so about not putting in effort. It's so about just getting the views. It's so about quick. It's so about just like not actually even sitting and thinking, what do I want to contribute into this online world? What is my intention with this? What am I trying to say about this? It's just like, let's just try and do as many mindless videos as possible and see what works and see what gets views. And the truth is, and like Damon said it in his video as well, is that like the reason I think it hurts so many creators is because like that's the winning formula. Like that's how you succeed. That's how you grow. That's why I haven't grown, because I find it so hard to just continue to create those kind of videos that just don't feel like they show me or reflect me or add any value to people's lives. Like I really struggle to create those videos, and then I get really like confused because then the videos that maybe I put effort into or something just don't do well. What's crazy about the algorithm now as well is that like 90% of the content we consume is not even from people we follow. Like I feel like for me and watching what my friends consume, hardly any of it is like people you're subscribed to. It's just what the algorithm pushes. So I could like thoroughly enjoy a video but have like no desire to follow the creator or like to continue to watch their content. And so it's also putting creators in this place where like, yeah, even if you do get really successful in a few videos, like you need to keep chasing the views, because it's not like how when I started YouTube, like if you had subscribers, you knew you were going to get those views because those people were going to come back time and time again. I think we forget that like we are part of the algorithm. Like the algorithm is using us, and the algorithm will push the content that is addictive. So not only is it the algorithm's fault, but it's our fault as creators, because we're trying to make our content more and more addictive, right? Because if your content's addictive, not only will the algorithm push it, but people will keep watching your content, because it's no longer enough to do a good video and have people follow you and then come back for the content, because why would they? There is an abundance of content. There's so much content out there that they don't have to follow you and keep watching your content. They can watch someone else. I think we've all been there where we're like scrolling on social media and we're like, this is so boring, but then you get one good video and you're just like cracking up and you're like, that is so funny. I feel so seen. that made my day, and then you like keep scrolling because you're like, I want to find more of that, I want to feel more of that. And that's why we like keep going back. We're chasing this dopamine, we're chasing this connection, like, because the truth is, like, amongst all the trash that there is online, there's some really good stuff as well. I just feel like also what I'm seeing on my feed so much, and like, again, this is like my feed, your feed might look completely different, and there's amazing creators on my feed as well sometimes, but majority of the feed, and why I just like get off my phone feeling just like disgusting, is because I feel like so much of the content we see today is so surface level and materialistic. I just leave being like, what did I get from that apart from wanting those pair of shoes? Or like going out to that restaurant and spending heaps of money. And I guess that's fine, like no hate, especially like with creators, like it's your job. Like I've sold products before. I've been very mindful to only try to sell products that I actually am like, I actually fuck with this and I like this. But let's be real, like I've done vlogs where I'm like, I'm at this restaurant, I'm at this, I'm doing this and stuff, and I'm like, then I sit back and I'm like, I feel shit because I'm like, what am I adding to the world? Is this really what I want to contribute to the abundance of content out there? Like, do people really need to see another video of a girl? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Which I guess brings me to the next chapter, which is purpose. Probably a big reason of why I haven't been posting recently is because coming back to Oz, having some time to rest and reset and really think, it's just really hard to ignore that I'm like, I don't feel like happy and satisfied and truly fulfilled in my life when I'm creating content that isn't for a specific thing, whether it be like the intention behind it, you know, or like having some sort of like, I'm doing this to help people in some way. And I feel like also like when I think about the creators that have left the biggest impact on me, that have inspired me in real life, that have made me want to be more creative, more in tune with myself, or, you know, whatever it may be, it's those people that come from a place of purpose and intention. They're not just like lip syncing to music or whatever. They're like, I'm here to say something. I have something to say. I have something to give. I have something to show. I used to get frustrated when people would be like, so what do you do? And I'd be like, oh, I guess I like make YouTube videos and stuff. And they're like, oh, like what about? And I'd be like, I guess my life, and you know, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but like it also shows how little I even knew why I was creating the content that I was creating. Like, yeah, I've always tried to create from a place of authenticity and being genuine and showing my life. And, you know, I've had beautiful comments from you guys being like, you know, just watching your life and seeing you interact with your friends and whatever has influenced me in ways that you probably can't understand. And I'm like, no, I do understand because other creators have done that to me and I really appreciate it. And it doesn't mean like you always have to talk about a topic in a video or whatever, but there is a certain level of knowing why you do what you do and what your values are and what your purpose is in this world. And I feel like when I get clear on that, that is when I love my content the most. It's not always when my content gets the most views, but I would say when I create from that place, it usually is when I get the comments and messages of people being like actually grateful and being like, actually this impacted me in some way. And that means so much because I know how that feels like, because I have creators that have done that for me, especially with YouTube. Like, I wouldn't be who I am today without the YouTubers that were brave and silly and creative and continue to be online. So I think now at like 23, I'm feeling like a lot clearer on what I want to contribute to the world. But that takes time. It takes growth. It takes educating yourself to really come from that place, which unfortunately the algorithm doesn't really value. It wants quick, it wants lots. It doesn't really care about quality or what you have to say. It cares about what people watch and if you have more content to keep pushing if people are interested, because that's how we stay on our phones. Damon said it as well, and I really, really resonated. It's like, if you watch a video of mine and then it makes you like turn off your phone and like do something, whether it be like reach out to a friend and go hang out with them, or create a new artwork, or write a song, or start a YouTube channel, like I'm like, that means that I've impacted you enough in your real life to do something. Which brings me to kind of the last chapter, which is just time. I remember at some point me and my friends were talking about social media. We had all just kind of been sitting on our phones, scrolling, watching things, and then someone was like, okay, like what did you see on your feed? Like, what did you just watch? We had probably been scrolling for like 20 minutes or more even. And I was like, wait, what the fuck did I watch? Like, what did I get from the last 20 minutes? Because I was sitting there consuming stuff. I felt as if I was present. And yet, I can't even tell my friend one thing I watched. Same with stories. Like, I'll swipe through stories and then a friend's like, oh, so like, what are people doing? And I'm like, I think someone was at a wedding, or like, it's wild. And like, when you really think about it, like, life is short. We are spending so much time consuming trash. I never feel as gross as when I get off my phone after scrolling and scrolling, and I'm like, I literally wasted time. I could have been chatting to a friend. I could have been reading a book. I could have been watching a movie. I could have been creating something. I could have been doing literally anything. But instead, I chose it to watch random people that I don't even know dancing and lip syncing online. And again, this is not hate, this is just like the truth. Like, we all feel like this. I've made videos of me lip syncing to random things. Like, we are all part of this, and that's the thing, is like, I don't know the answer. Will I completely stop making those videos? I don't know, but I guess what I'm trying to do as a creator, to stay close to my intention, to create videos that help you guys in some way, whether it be to create more, to step into your authentic selves, to just feel empowered and spend more time in nature, spend time with the people you love, put energy into your relationships, and cultivate more love and presence in your life. Like, that is what I want to contribute. And so if I keep coming back to that, I feel like I'm going to be so much more happy with the content I create. And you guys might not even see a huge difference in my content, but I will know where the content came from, and I'll know why I said certain things and why I posted certain things, you know? And I think if there's any creators watching this, I really urge you to ask yourself, like, why are you doing what you do? Why are you creating this video? And as a consumer, I'm going to try my best to limit my time mindlessly scrolling, which is actually a huge thing I started to do a few years ago with my detoxes. If you guys follow me on Instagram, or if you're a beautiful subscriber that continues to watch my videos, you would probably know that I take the last week off social media each month for my mental health, for my sanity, so that I feel like I have that extra time in my life to put it into things that I actually care about. And that has been completely life-changing. If you guys want to participate in that, I always post about it on my Instagram, and you can join. And so many people and so many of you guys do it with me as well. Hopefully this video was uplifting and made you feel understood the way that Damon's video did. My camera's about to die, so I think that is my cue to go, but I love you guys. Thanks for being a part of this online community. Thanks for being such incredible, inspiring humans that like allow me to feel like I can take a break, and that allow me to feel like I can post a video like this. And I know that some of you guys are gonna get it. Social media is so out of our control at this point, but at least as consumers, as creators, we have a bit more control than we think. And so ask yourself why. Take time off social media, and I'll see you soon. Or maybe not as soon as I think, or maybe soon. I don't know. I love you guys.